Welcome. I will be walking you through the 2627 ESSA Consolidated Federal Grant Application, the PS 3107 Title IV Part A program pages. So when you get into the eGrants environment, you will go down until you see the PS 3107 under the program description and click on that. For purposes of this training, I have already made some data into the application page so that you can see how it works. And so I'll be changing data as we go through so you can also see errors and warnings and what they bring up. And so this is the Title IV page. And so on part one, or before we get to part one, there's a little box that says 100% of its Title IV Part A funds are using the REAP or funding transferability option. I am unable to select that because one of the earlier schedules, the REAP and funding transferability schedule, did not remove 100% of the Title IV funds. So I know that we are using at least some of the Title IV funds. And so first, we're going to look at the part one, plan use of funds. This is pre-populated based on what is put into the REAP schedule. There was no request for REAP in or out, from Title II Part A or out from the Title IV Part A funds. So this remains grayed out. So there's less chance of an error for a district actually putting numbers there that should not be there. And so then when I go to the Part B, which gives me the current year allocation of funds is 15,274. And so you can see that, but then there was not a transfer in from Title 2A, but there was a transfer out from Title 4A. So the original allocation that this district received was 15,274. And then they transferred 7,637 from the program into another program. So they are transferring out 50% of their program funds. And so this is the amount in line 4 that I have to work with on this particular grant application page. As you can see right now, I have numbers that are input for amount budgeted. If I click on save, it's going to give me some errors and warnings because already I can see down below for the planned use of funds, it is much higher than what is actually currently available in section B, line 4, which is only $7,637. So I'm going to click OK and go up to the top to see what are the errors. I can choose to print the errors by clicking on this button, and then it would actually show you, print out the errors if you had a long list and you wanted to physically check them off. Or here I can see what the few errors are. And so the first one, 1C, part 1C, the amount budgeted must equal the total allocation and transfer amount in part 1B. And so I'm going to come down. Part 1B shows the 15,274. And as you can see down here, it's not matching. And so it's telling me that Part C, when I get to the grand total, it must total that. So the amount that is available, which is actually going to be what's in line 4. So I am going to erase what is in that budget right now for each of the content areas because it is way over budget. And then I'm going to save, and it's giving me the errors again. And so as you can see, it says Part 2A, line 2, is required and must have a selection. So I need to go down, and that is the one where it's telling me to go down here. It needs a selection, but we're going to work on this budget up here first. And so for direct admin costs in the area of Title IV Part A, there is a cap of 2% of the budget. And so I am going to put an admin cost of $100. And this says direct admin cost does not include indirect costs. So indirect costs, and then it says indirect costs should be included as part of lines 2, 3, and 4 and budgeted in the appropriate line of the BS 6001 schedule. So you're not going to see the indirect cost listed separately on this budget schedule. It's saying it should be included as parts of 2, 3, and 4, which is activities to support well-rounded education, activities to support safe and healthy students, and the activities to support effective use of technology. So I would just include it there and then make sure that it's budgeted on the appropriate line for the detail in the BS 6001 schedule. So I'm going to click off of that, and then I'm going to finish with my budget. And so when I get to the activities to support well-rounded, because this grant is less than 30,000, it is not a requirement to have at least 20% in well-rounded education and 20% in safe and healthy students, and a portion in effective use of technology. If you're less than 30,000, you can put it in one content area, or you can put it in all three. You can decide based on your stakeholder feedback that you have documented and your data that shows why it should be spent in a certain area. And so for purposes of the training, I'm going to utilize putting the budget in all three line items. Okay. So right now I'm down to $1,100. That's red. And I'm going to save it just for training purposes so you can see what the issue is. If I go up, it says, again, the amount budgeted must equal the total allocation and transfer amounts. And I know it does not. And then it also says total budget percentage must equal 100%. And it's only equaling 14% right now. And then it's telling me I need to make some selections further down in the schedule. So let me correct the errors for the budget. So we know that the budget must equal the 7637. So I am going to make some changes here. And by doing that, let me save it. I'm putting the majority of my funding in the effective use of technology. And I can because I am less than 30,000 that has been received. And so, but I'm still getting some errors, but it's not in the budget place. The other thing that I want to let you know is for technology infrastructure, there is a maximum cap of 15% of what's in line 4. So if I do not use the amount, um, a, a technology infrastructure amount, that's fine. If I wanted to use an amount, it could not be greater than 15% of what I put in line 4. So I am going to go ahead, I'm going to reduce line 4, and I am going to put an amount there just so that I can see So I can show you what it's going to look like when I finish budgeting that. And so by taking that out, now I need to make sure I put some funding there, 6537, and save. Okay. Now that's telling me the data has been saved and there are errors that are and warnings that are up above. So here, because I was right under that 15%, setting aside $980 for technology infrastructure, there was not a warning. And you see that box did not change to red. So that means I'm good to go with the rest of my schedule. And I also want to remind you that whatever you put in line 5, technology infrastructure, it does not matter the amount of grant that the LEA has received. If you are less than 30,000 for your grant, you still must stay at 15% and below. You cannot go over that 15%, even if you have less than $30,000. Technology infrastructure are things such as devices, equipment, it can be a software. There's lots of examples in the Title IV Part A FAQ document, as well as the Title IV Part A program guide that will give you examples of technology infrastructure. And then we also have published a new technology infrastructure guidance that helps you with looking at your requests and seeing if they fall into an allowable expense for technology infrastructure or not. So moving down, because I am a district that has less than 30,000, in part two, number two, you can see that red box is highlighted. And so I need to put a check there. It will not allow me to put a check in box one because it says it's only required if you're greater than 30,000. So if it's less than 30,000, then I am assuring that I've consulted with stakeholders. You always have to consult with the Title IV stakeholders, regardless of the subgrantee amount. And then you must discuss with them also how to prioritize the use of funds, what you plan to do. And prioritization of the distribution of funds is next, but I also want to highlight if you're greater than $30,000 in Title IV Part A, you are required to do a comprehensive needs assessment for the program. And that also, you're collecting data, you're getting feedback from the required stakeholders. It is required that you do a comprehensive needs assessment every 3 years. We highly suggest that you're looking at your needs once one time during the school year so that you have the most current data to make the best decisions for the following school year or for that school year. And so I need to consult with the stakeholders, need to show them data, let them know what we are looking at as a school district, but also getting their input on what they would like to see occur with the Title IV funds within the district. And also talking to them about how should we prioritize the use of funds. And so when we go down, I had already selected this. B is the LEA assures the distribution of funds have been prioritized. For Title IV Part A, there is a prioritization that must take place, and that is when the district is looking to ensure that it's using Title IV Part A funds to address the priority needs within the district. And so first it will be looking at, are there any schools that have the greatest needs in the area of Title IV, safe and healthy students, well-rounded education, or the effective use of technology, and also looking at, are these funds addressing the low performing schools? Are they addressing underperforming student subgroups? are they addressing any unsafe schools that may be on within the district? In addition, these Title IV funds must be supplemental, which is Part C. And so the district must assure that the funds will be supplemental to any of the federal, any of the state laws and regulations, or any local school board policy. So if Texas has a requirement that could be also fall into the one of the content areas for Title IV, then you would not be able to use that Title IV funding unless you're going above and beyond what the state's requirement is. And so, for example, there's a state requirement that there be at least one um, officer at every campus. So a district can no longer use their Title IV funds to support that one officer at each campus. And so you need to make sure that you are supplementing. And then when it comes to D, because I put funds in all three content areas up here, then I must make an assurance that I will support the activities and programs for all students. Title IV can be used for all students, where Title I Part A cannot be used for all students um, because when it comes to, unless they are a school-wide. So for Title IV, all activities and programs provide access to and opportunities for well-rounded education for students, safe and healthy school environments, and to support effective use of technology and increase access to personalized learning experiences supported by technology and professional development. And so I'm going to click Save, and it says your data has been successfully saved with no errors or warnings. I can go back up to the top, and you can see those errors and warnings are gone. And one thing I want to show you is if I decided to move that $500 before I submitted my application away from Safe and Healthy Students and add it to the well-rounded education opportunities and saved it. So there is only um, two of the three areas, then I can do that. And you see now I cannot click in that button for supporting safe and healthy students because I did not leave any funding there. So please make sure if it's not allowing you to click, if you want it to support safe and healthy students, then you need to ensure that there is funding there. So I'm going to change it back and I'm going to put $500 for well-rounded, 500 for um, safe and healthy students. And you can see that brings up an error because I need to select a line in 2E line 1. That's going to be the error that where I added back on support for safe and healthy students. Since I added funding there now, I still need to go in and check that and click Save. It's been successfully saved with no errors or warnings. Click OK. I go up there. You can see there are no errors. So I go back and I want to see, make sure everything was completed. And Title IV, you go across, it says it was completed. So that schedule is complete. Thank you. And if you have additional questions, please reach out to the Federal Program Compliance Division at ESSA support at tea.texas.gov. Thank you for your time.